how to trade the seconds, the 5 second entry type style. Welcome to the theory, my friends. In the next video, I'm just going to go over a few examples, going to repeat the theory a little bit, but here it's just important to see what kind of things we're looking before we're even taking an entry in the 5 seconds. Now, more than likely, it is not really difficult to take and trade on the 5 seconds. The most difficult one is to really determine the right POI. Now, the way how I'm doing it is with all the concepts that we have. So at the point where you will decide to use the entry on the seconds, you really need to master everything, okay? Because on the seconds, you will just see the same thing what you see on the higher time frames, just again on the seconds, okay? So you will see a lot of Wyckoff accumulation, Wyckoff distributions, liquidity, order flow change, and all the things, breakup structure. Now I'm just going to go very quickly over the theory behind it on what kind of things I would like to see. Now, more than likely, I will pick a M15 supply zone, okay? That one M15 supply zone I'm going to refine first into M1, M5, and M1. So you can see here, let me just mark this. You can see here already that price broke here structure, okay? So this is a valid supply zone on M15. We would like to have a lot of things, okay? So you got here in this case also a little bit of inducement, liquidity for this market. But here what I'm going to look for is a refined supply zone within the M15 supply zone. Now that one M1 supply zone doesn't need to be one candle, it can be also a range. That is already enough. Why? Because we would like to see out of that one M1 range or supply zone a reaction. So the seconds will help us in many cases just to choose from the M1 supply zones, because sometimes you will see another supply zone on the M1 just a little bit below it, but price on the seconds will not give you any sort of reaction, and that's the whole key of the seconds. In the first place, to minimize your stop loss, okay? The second place, to tell you which M1 zone will work out, and to get a little bit more of extra confirmations if this supply zone here will even work. But sometimes this whole idea is invalid, for instance, to sell from the M15, and the seconds will never give you a confirmation for that. That would be the best, you know? So we'll really help you out many times. And yeah, but also sometimes the 5 seconds can trap you. So it's just part of this strategy, like always. Now, here, this is how we expect the price will tap into M1 supply zone or range, will give us a reaction, will drop down lower. Now, if we will just have a look here on the seconds, how this will look like, is just price will give us a little bit of inducement, okay? Then this thing here is the most important one, because this one is that one leg that will bring the price into the M1 range or supply zone. This one here ideally will break structure, you know? Just mark that right now as inducement, but normally this should break structure, so we can view this as an BOS as well. And then we would like to see price coming down lower to break the structure here. So specifically this swing structure that you have here. So here, this is your swing structure, bearish swing structure, because order flow will shift at the moment when it will tap into it here, will drop down, order flow shifts, so it doesn't need immediately to break structure. Ideally, it is the best if it will break structure for extra confirmations, but it will be also okay if it will just wick below it. So decide this by yourself how you would like to use it. Me, more than likely, I like to see a BOS because that's really how I get the most confirmations out of it. But whenever, for instance, I'm super convinced of the POI because it makes so much sense, then I will definitely use every sort of order flow change into bringing me into this trade, okay? Yeah, and this, you look at this, it already looks like this is an Wyckoff distribution. So this is then your new bearish swing structure. What you expect price to return to this 5 second supply range, to return to it, give you probably a little bit more liquidity before it will tap into it. That would be super ideally, but not ultimately necessary. And then you just go into this trade and you rock it all the way to the downside. Well, pretty easy, nothing very difficult. Just important is to really read the seconds very good. It could be for some people at the beginning a little bit tricky. Okay, then this is how we take a buy order for it. So the same kind of thing, M15 demand zone, price is breaking here structure. We expect price to come back to it, and we refine it down to a M1 demand zone or range, and then we go for a nice long, same kind of thing. We would like to see price giving us a bit of inducement, breaking structure to the downside first, and then creating, of course, here the same kind of thing, bullish swing structure. We would like to see price returning to it, for instance, at this 5-second demand range. This is the one which is responsible to bring the price all the way back up. Potentially could even come here if there is something, so keep that in mind. I just try here to give you a little bit of a different example, but we will go anyway in the next video more into detailed examples, plus of course in the trade recaps and so on we will see multiple options on how we can trade this, because there is not a step-by-step rule at the end. Important for us is just understand what price is doing, to read this history of it, to understand if price is ready to shift. That's basically it. So nothing really more to add. That's the theory. As I said, please, you need to understand if this is the right POI. Otherwise, it will just not work for you. We will make a lot of faders. Ideally, this is why I mapped it out right now with the M15. You would like to be in the M15 order flow. If you trade against the M15 order flow, this could be super difficult for you. So I would not recommend you doing that. Best case, you just go hand in hand with the M15 and you will rock it all the way in that one direction where the price will go. Yeah, that's it for the theory. See you in the next video where we're going to talk about the practice.